Our holidays to Japan start out in cities like Tokyo, before taking you out to explore islands and countryside that give you a broader understanding of the country. Walk the Nakasendo Way, staying in locally run ryokan inns that serve seasonal home-cooked feasts. Cycle between gleaming rice paddies, shrines, and little visited villages in the Satoyama, alongside local guides who give real insight into this biodiverse landscape. One of the main joys of Japan holidays? Traveling by public transport, including the legendary bullet trains. They're not just one of the most environmentally sound ways of traveling, they're also the most fun. Tokyo. Bizarrely, Tokyo is not a city, and hasn't been since 1943, when it was given the designation of special metropolis, divided into 23 wards. Needing little introduction, this capital has one of the largest populations in the world. Originally known as Edo, it became capital after Emperor Meiji moved in 1868. This was the beginning of the Meiji Restoration period, when Japan went into high-gear industrialization mode and never looked back. And yet, through all of Tokyo's bright lights, high-tech, crammed, and crazy cosmopolitan goings-on, there are so many places where Japanese cultural heritage jumps out at you. Beautiful breathing spaces include Hamarakyu Gardens City Park, the Imperial Gardens of Chiyoda, or Asakusa, where the Kaminariman Thundergate and Sensoji Temple sit astride a bevy of artisan shops. Or go to the top of its landmark Skytree building and take it all in from 634m, way above the city. Always take a guided tour if you can to get your head around the different districts. Hiroshima. This extraordinary city will, in many ways, leave you speechless. With the most tragic past, having been totally wiped out by the 1945 atomic bomb and 70,000 of its residents killed, its reconstruction into the urban utopia that it is today is a total eye-opener. How a country can embrace post-war pacifism and educate and inspire national and international visitors in the process. Many of our Japan cultural holidays visit this city, taking in sites such as the A-Bomb Dome, Peace Park, and Peace Memorial Museum. Hiroshima also has 3 superb art galleries and is famous for its cuisine, such as the indigenous Hiroshima okonomi, which is like an omelet pancake prepared with everything from seafood to cabbage, then topped with an egg. Hiroshima certainly is a multi-layered city. The cherry blossom in Japan. Japan's iconic sakura, cherry blossom, bloom from south to north as the climate warms, draping parks and gardens the length of the archipelago in delightful shades of pink and white, and prompting hanami, cherry blossom viewing parties, throughout the spring. The cherry blossoms have been revered in Japan for centuries and have inspired the works of countless poets, artists, and philosophers. Since different regions all too briefly come into bloom at different times, it pays to learn the best time to see the cherry blossom in Japan and how to avoid the crowds. Bullet trains on Japan holidays. Not quite as fast as a speeding bullet, but fast enough to acquire the nickname. Japan's famous Shinkansen network spans the country, enabling you to get between cities comfortably, rapidly, and cost-effectively too. Almost all Japan holidays will feature travel by rail, with some getting around entirely on the train, and tour operators should be able to assist you in organizing a Japanese rail pass. Unlimited travel for 7 days. Watching as the scenery zips past the windows of these sleek, modern, and accessible trains is as essential to holidays here as sushi and shopping. Nakasendo Way. The Nakasendo Trail linked Kyoto to Tokyo during Japan's feudal period. It was the road through the mountains, as opposed to the Tokaido route which traveled the Pacific coast, traveled by feudal lords and their retinues, samurai, merchants, and travelers. Along the route were 69 post towns, where weary travelers could rest before continuing on the next leg. Our journey will start in Tokyo, known as Edo during Japan's period of rule by the shoguns. We will then spend 4 days walking along the Nakasendo. By day, we will walk along the ancient route as it passes through beautifully preserved villages along an easy path. And by evening, we will stay in traditional country inns enjoying exquisite regional cuisine prepared from the freshest ingredients, soak in natural hot springs, and enjoy the warm hospitality of our hosts. Enjoy bathing in hot spring water after a day on the trails. Best time to go. The best time to visit Japan is either spring, March to May, or autumn, September to November. Both seasons offer relatively good weather that's ideal for walking. Spring is the right time to visit Japan to admire the cherry blossoms, while in the autumn the trees are resplendent with golds, reds, and oranges. Japan is very much a four-season type of place to holiday, with fantastic festivals and events taking place throughout the year. The climate varies from the cooler, mountainous north to the subtropical islands of the south with their Pacific vibe. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. See you next time.